What's up, y'all? So I'm back today with some candles lit. I'll show you one of them. I have one that has the crackle wick thing. Here. Oh my god, it's so bright. Okay. So yeah, I cannot show you the words on that, obviously, with how the light is working. But it's called, I'll just read them to you. Okay, it's called Nature's Wick. And the flavor, I always think to call it flavor, but it obviously means scent, is honey mandarin. Honey mandarin. Henny. Okay. And that's the brand is called Nature's Wick. Okay. So I'm putting that down now before I set the house on fire, because I actually have a little story about that. So this includes a different candle and it's still sitting over there. Actually, it's called Cranberry and Fig Soy Wax Candle. And what happened was, I had that one lit one time. This happened a few months ago. And so yeah, and then okay, sorry, back on track. I lost it for a second. So basically I had that lit on this table next to me. I'm on a couch right now, and I was laying with my head back this way towards where the candles are, and I had a strand. Well, it was more than a strand. It was a good lots of strands, and they dipped into the flame of the candle, and part of my hair burned off, and luckily nothing got on fire, and I didn't catch on fire somehow. I'm very grateful for that. But yeah, and then it smelled like burnt hair in here for 2 weeks, and I was definitely never able to use that candle again, because every time I would light it, not only would it just be triggering, but also anytime I would light it, it would fill up the room with burnt hair smell still, because there was still burnt hair residue in the candle wax. It was so awful, because I was only a little bit into that candle, so there's a lot of wax left. But I think the more I burn it, the less it'll smell like it. But then my sister is a hairstylist, so I texted her a picture, and I was like, hey, can you fix this? Because where the hairs had burnt off, they still left part of the strands, and it left these white little tips of all the hairs that had been burnt, because it was where the hair had burnt and curled up. And I was and she literally responded with saying that there's absolutely no way to fix that, in terms from what her job does. There's no way to remedy burnt hair other than to just comb it out and hope that you didn't burn too much. So I tried combing it out, and it was still very obvious in there. And then a couple weeks went by, and I couldn't really notice it anymore, so all that stuff either fell out or went away or whatever. But it was a little bit of a horrifying moment, just because I could have burned my entire body, or even another option is that all of my hair could have been ruined from that. So it's good that we just had a minor consequence from that, to learn a large lesson about fire safety in general. Don't lay your head near open flames. That's just kind of a good standard to follow, I feel like. But yeah, so that's my little story of what happened with that. But yeah, today I just kind of wanted to chat again, and ramble a bit. I'm eventually gonna do like videos with more light where it's not just like dark and almost creepy. Like I feel like my dark videos can come off as like a creepy vibe. I hope that's not the case. But like the thumbnails just look really creepy to me. But yeah, like I do plan to eventually film like earlier when there's more natural light coming in. I just never remembered to do it by that point. And also things can be loud earlier in the day too. Obviously that's a thing. But I just don't like shining a lot of light on me at night because I don't even have a light like on this side of me at all. Like there's no ceiling light or floor lamp or anything. And so the only light sources I have come from like over here. So I might as well just do chill candle vibes, you know what I mean? But yeah, and like I'm not like anywhere near the point where I feel like getting like studio lights or any of that kind of stuff. I'm not sure I even ever really will commit that hard to like a YouTube setup because I personally like lo-fi better. I like people who just film things for the content. Like I only really see content on YouTube. So if I watch something that's like not filmed with the best camera or doesn't have the best audio equipment, I don't even care. Because to me that doesn't like affect how I value whatever content they're getting across is. And you know, I think that like hi-fi kind of content has become so mainstream in a way that it's like not special anymore, and it kind of makes you seem like fake and inorganic in a way. There's a lot of like fake people on YouTube, and there's so many that they've flipped the market of YouTube, and like that's why only the fake people are popular. You only get popular by like doing all this dumb stuff like paying for ads or like doing all these like intensely promotional things, and it at a certain point becomes about the promotion and not the content. And I hate that. That happens to every industry. It happened to the music industry, it happened to the film industry even earlier on, and now it's even happened to online video streaming like YouTube, because capitalism ruins fucking everything. Commercialism, hyper commercialism, people only caring about profit and nothing else, not caring about content any longer. Whereas YouTube at first was so against the grain from like TV and film because it gave people a way to be able to say whatever the fuck they wanted, any words they said. And eventually like you could get paid for it by becoming a partner, was what they used to call it. And so I don't know, it's just like YouTube has changed so much because it became so competitive in such an oversaturated market that it became all about, I think that's what it is in all those markets, is once they become oversaturated it all becomes, I'm sorry, I'm speaking very loud, or not loudly, quick right now, and I'm gonna try and remind myself to slow it down because I like slow when people are more articulate and slow with their ASMR, so I'm gonna try and do that. But I just get into the heat of it, you know. Now I don't even remember what I was saying. I knew this was bound to happen. It already happened in like the beginning of the video. Like oversaturation of markets. I think that's what causes the hyper competitive nature of everyone, and they don't care about actually like putting out good art, like putting out a good album or putting out a really good movie. It's all about fast music, fast film, fast profit, and I don't know, like it's just gross. But that's okay because you know what? At least in a sense, when it comes to YouTube being oversaturated, they have adjusted in other ways, I think, too. I mean, anyone is still allowed to upload videos to YouTube, no matter what. You don't need certification or a license or something stupid, which they could require at this point in order to filter out people who aren't serious about, like, making a career out of YouTube or whatever. But, so that's at least a good thing about YouTube, is that it still is a free expression kind of platform, because I can make these videos now and I don't have any sort of experience or history or license with this. it's just, I'm going along with it, but I'm allowed to just keep uploading things. So the only thing is that it is like so hard to get your first either views or likes or followers on any type of platform, social media or anything, without having to do something skeevy. Like, honestly, everything is like trying to question me and my character at this point with, you know, what I'm doing with putting YouTube up and putting music out there. Like, all the like research I do about getting an audience and building an audience and everything, it's so much about like, oh, well, you have to like pay for ads on everything so that it's showing your stuff to everyone, and you have to, which requires you to have a certain investment of money already to begin with, which is where it's not fair anymore, and you're not inclusive of people who don't have anything to start with, which is what YouTube for a while had been. People started with just like a bad phone or laptop camera, webcam, and then they worked their way up. As they made money, they could invest more in what they were doing by getting better cameras, better audio. And I just think that a lot of that opportunity has closed now, because it's like I'm basically being told that I'm not going to get views on my channel or subscribers if I don't do something that's out of character for myself. And now I totally like see how that all connects with the music industry, which I've noticed those problems in for a much longer time, and the film industry as well. Because in the music industry specifically, I mean, that happens all the time too. That's why pop music sucks, as everyone says, because pop music, defined as the hyper commercial radio music that's always on the top 40, that stuff, it's not ever about the content, it's always about how you promote it. Like, they're literally just putting out the same songs over and over and over again for like decades long, changing them very slightly to reflect the times by appropriating cultures and appropriating trends. And they do all of that shit so that they can chase the profit and nothing else, which is what made me like it's what made me want to give up 1,000 times on, you know, entering the music industry. I felt like there wasn't a place for me because I'm not willing to sell myself out like that, and I'm not willing to sell out other cultures, and I'm not willing to sell out like an identity, like, you know, in terms of like politics and stuff. So it's just, I don't know, I do get very bothered by how things work in the industry, but then when I think about it, like, it makes sense that it ended up that way, like I said, because of oversaturation and like, and capitalism just poisoning everything. So yeah, those are my kind of thoughts on just that kind of stuff. So I just definitely prefer like a alternative independent approach to everything. So I'm not going to do anything that's uncharacteristic for me. Oh, I'll give an example of what I'm talking about. So with my music YouTube page, which is linked on this profile if you want to check it out, I've started uploading covers of songs. And when I was watching some type of YouTube clip that was about, it was supposed to be about like helping get your first 100 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers or something like that, and it was in regards specifically to like musicians on YouTube. In the beginning of the video, the guy says, oh, like, the way that people get attention to their music is through covers, so now you need to be covering top 40 music from today and not anything else. Don't cover old songs, don't cover songs by people who aren't in the top 40, and like, don't basically like saying, putting out there to everyone that it's not worth it doing any other type of cover. And that like pissed me off, because I'm like, no, I'm not doing fake shit like that. I don't listen to top 40 music now, and I haven't for like almost more than 10 years at this point. So there's no way that I am singing like a current Taylor Swift song or like a current, I don't know, whatever app, so I feel like it shouldn't be doing that, but whatever. So, yeah, I'm not going to do a cover that I can't sing passionately because I actually love the song. So I've only covered songs that I love by people that I love. So I've covered 2 songs by Marina so far. I've covered a Lana Del Rey song, and I've covered a song by Caro Caro Bonito, and they're all songs that I really love. And the first one that I put up was not even near a song of like recent today. I don't know why I'm so bad at saying that. I put up a song. I'm trying to say I put up a song that's not even very recent. It's from 2010, and it's one of Marina's songs called "Oh No." And I learned that cover like 3 years ago, and that's why I did that one first, because I already knew how to do it, and I definitely already knew every single lyric. I didn't have to look up the lyrics at all. Or the chords, because I remembered the chords as well. So that's why I chose to do that one first. And I was like, basically, this is my fuck you to the whole system of them saying I have to pick something that's like a current song today. So, no thanks. Although I do have a couple of current songs that I am going to do because there is new music coming out by people that I actually really like. So, an example of a current song that I'm going to do is a song called Dead Horse by Hayley Williams. And I've listened to Paramore for a very long time, so I've always loved Hayley Williams. But, like, she just launched her own solo career as well and put out an album already. I was following the EPs when they were out. She put out 2 EPs, and I didn't even expect she was going to do a full album. But she put out an album that has like a 3rd chunk in it as well. And it is so good. Like, I feel everything that she's talking about so hard right now in my life. Like, it could not have come at a more perfect time. So it shot straight up to like my list of favorite albums. It's called Petals for Armor, by the way. And I really like the song Dead Horse because I'm also really like vibing with that feeling right now. And I also am feeling a similar transformation, and that I'm moving past those feelings as well. And so I think that the album is just really celebratory about finding like self-belief and self-faith. And that's a theme I very strongly relate to. And it's why I love a lot of Marina's work, because she has explored a lot of that in her works, and Lana Del Rey as well too. And like especially, like, I'll give an example album from each of them. Like Fruit by Marina is such an album about like finding self-confidence and finding like a self-acceptance that is like uncaring of how anyone else feels. And I find that just so strong, and like I think that album changed me so much. And then by Lana, the album Lust for Life is also an album that's very transformational, and is about also like self-belief and moving out of a period of self-doubt. And I think that that is something that I really relate to, and so I find that a lot in Petals for Armor. There's also a lyric in another song that I don't remember which song it was, since it is still like so fresh to me, but it was a line where she says something about how oh, now it's hard to think. It's like really hard for me to like recall lyrics when I'm not actually listening to a song. I'm so bad at it. Even with songs that I write myself, I have to look up the lyrics that I've already written down, because like otherwise I will forget them, or I will change, I'll paraphrase words accidentally. So hold on, let me like think about this for a second. She says something about how like you thought you knew me before, but like it's something along the lines of the fact that, like, before herself was, like, self-inhibited, and now she's letting her full self run free and be free. And that's another line in that same song, I think, where she says, like, now I'm free or something, and, like, I need to figure out which song this is. Like, maybe if I look at the track list, I'll be able to figure it out, hopefully. Let me see here. Okay, I'm not even on the app yet. I'm, like, looking at my phone thinking, what was I doing? Okay, Spotify, so I'm gonna look up Hayley. And we're gonna find, okay, perfect, it shows up first when I type H. Let's see. Oh, okay. It was towards the end. I feel like it was either, I think it's Watch Me While I Bloom. It's either that one or Pure Love, but I think it's Watch Me While I Bloom. You know what? I have my phone right here. Let's just look up the lyrics, and, like, then I can affirm for you which one it really is, because it's not like I'm going to talk about anything else more substantial. Anyway, let's see. I'm gonna check that one first. Watch me. Please show up so I don't have to touch the whole thing. Oh, there we go. I just had to say Hayley, watch, and it showed up. Okay. Okay, this is definitely the song. I think I'm just going to read the lyrics of the whole song to you, because I want to, and, like, what else would I do? Okay. So this is the one that is called Watch Me While I Bloom by Hayley Williams. How lucky I feel to be in my body again. How lovely I feel not to have to pretend like she's already got my attention there, because, like, fucking retweet. Shocking to feel a positive charge, innocuous thrill, big invisible spark. Also just such good writing. I love that. Okay, this is the part that I was referencing in this next part. Wanna look inside of me and just watch me bloom. You only got one side of me. Here's something new. I'm alive in spite of me, and I'm on the move. So come and look inside of me. Watch me while I bloom. Those are such good lyrics. I'm so into this, like reading this now, even without the music, I just love it as plain poetry. It's so good. Okay, and then the next part says, if you feel like you're never gonna reach the sky, till you pull up your roots, leave your dirt behind, baby, you got a lot of shit to learn. I like that too. And then the next two chunks are repeated from stuff before. I'm gonna just read the new stuff. Okay, and then she says, got a lot to learn, got a lot. Okay, that part is just got a lot to learn. Okay, and then it's just repeated stuff, but I'll read the last chunk one more time. Wanna look inside of me and just watch me bloom. You only got one side of me. Here's something new. I'm alive in spite of me, and I'm on the move. I really love that line so much. I'm alive in spite of me. Because to me, that's like a reference of, like, depression and suicidal behavior. I'm alive in spite of me, and I'm on my move. So come and look inside of me. Watch me while I bloom. So yeah, I think that song itself is very core to the theme of the album, which makes sense because the album title is Petals for Armor, and that does talk about flowers blooming. And so that's another thing I really love about the album I forgot to mention, is that it does have like an overall flower theme, given the title. And it's if you find it in a lot of songs as well. And I really like that because I like flowers, and I already am really into artists who put a lot of natural imagery in their songs. I dig that very much. So yeah, that's just a little bit about that. That's kind of, I guess this kind of turned into like a what album I'm into right now kind of thing. Because that album just dropped, like I think a week ago. Maybe two. May 8th, it says. I feel like it was later than that. Has it really been the entire month of May already? Well, anyways, I first heard the song, or the album. I heard the EPs like a month or two ago, and then the full album I didn't find on there until 2 weeks ago, a week and a half. Oh my god, I literally, quarantine time obviously is just so off. I think it was 2 weeks at this point. That's crazy. It's been about 2 weeks since I got back from like a trip, and that's when I first listened to the album, and I cried at several different points. I was really into it, and I've listened to the album like 2 or 3 times again since the full album, because I just am really into it right now. I guess I'll talk a little more while I'm at it about other albums that I've been into recently, and still into. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna start with other ones that are recent, and then I might get into some older albums. So, another recent album that I've been really into is an album called Paying by Caroline Polachek. And I'll spell her name for you if you want to look her up. First name Caroline, and then last name Polachek. And then I'll also link anything that I talk about in the description. I think I can link just their like Spotify pages, if that'll work for everyone. LOL, everyone, my like audience of like 3 that watches my videos. But anyways, so Paying is her first album in this portion of her career. I knew of her from the band Chairlift, if you've ever heard of that. But Chairlift broke up, I believe, in early 2017, which sucked for me because I got into Chairlift only about 1 to 2 years before they broke up. So I never even got to see them tour. I only got to be there for one album release, which was their final album. And then they didn't release anymore, and the saddest part was that I didn't find out they had broken up until like months after, and then I was like devastated. I was like, this happened and I didn't even know. It was sad, but I understand that people need to move on into new phases and evolve and go into new parts of their life and parts of their career. And I'm incredibly happy I was incredibly happy when I found out that Caroline was launching her own solo career. She actually has done solo albums and solo singles before under different names. Like she did an album under the name Ramona Lisa as a pen name, and that album is really fucking good. I believe it's called Arcadia. I will also link that down below. That's a really interesting album. She recorded the entire thing by herself on her laptop and only used a laptop microphone and did it all herself and put it out. I admire that so much, and it also turned into an incredibly cool project. Like, it is a really good album. It's so unique and special. interesting vibes to them, like each song. So anyways, yeah, and then now she put out her debut album, Pang, and it is incredible. It is so good. Like, once again, like, everything that she's done in her career, it is so unique and like special and new and fresh. I love the song to death. Go as a Dream. Like, that song to me is so nostalgic feeling, and I think that it is like a dream-like song to me. It is so cool. I also really like New Normal. I also really like, oh my god, I die for both Door and Parachute. Those songs like really grew on me fast, because like by the third or fourth listen I started realizing that they were like so cool. And I actually, one night when I was I took like a microdose of shrooms, and I listened to the song Door because I think that it came up in one of the playlists I was playing, like that I had created myself. And oh my god, it was like a spiritual experience. That song was crazy. And so it actually inspired me to create a new playlist. That was the first song in Door. And I called the playlist Ongas because that is Spanish for mushrooms, and it is the word that they use in Oaxaca, Mexico, which is where shrooms are native to. Or not necessarily. It's where the tradition of taking shrooms medicinally is rooted in Oaxaca, which is South Mexico. But I think I did hear that the species of shrooms that are psilocybin, they, I believe, grow all over the world, but it was in Mexico where they thought to actually cultivate them. But I might not be 100% right about that, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, so I titled that playlist Ongas, and I even featured it as one of my featured playlists on my artist Spotify. And I don't know, I think that I think it's just funny, like, if anyone ever asks for that, like, I'm gonna have to explain what that means. But other people are just gonna be like, hongas. All these, like, white people are gonna be like, hongas, what is a hongas? So, we'll see. But I don't know if many people even really look at that, because that's not something I've even really paid much attention to before. On other artists' profiles, I don't typically look through that kind of stuff. I usually just look through their music, or the section that says appears on, and like the things that they're featured in. Okay, I realized that I once again forgot to like slow my speech down. So I'm going to try and do that more now. I mean, if anyone likes the fast talking specifically as a trigger, I mean, let me know. I've personally never been triggered by that. I like when people like slow down their words, and I think it like gives you more time to, I guess, assume